of Japan, 22 years old. Seto was a bronze medalist in the Rio Games in this event, and it was the first men's race on day one as his countryman Kosuke Higino broke the USA streak of 5 straight Olympic gold medals in this event. Seto took bronze in that.
Yeah, and a national hero along with Higino in Japan. And if you think about the Japanese Swimming Federation and how strong they've been over so many Olympic Games, I think next to Australia and the United States, probably the strongest swimming country over the history of the sport.
Yeah, that's saying something. Down in lane 7, Anton Ipsen already has a win in this meet, the 400 free last night. And in lane 5 from the United States, Sean Grisham, the hometown kid, done good. He's from Austin, 5th in this event at the U.S. Olympic trials last summer. As a 17-year-old, his time of 4:14.08 remains the world junior record.
Yeah, he is a very special swimmer. Really doesn't have a weak stroke. Maybe butterfly, he doesn't get off to a great start, but boy, his last 3 legs are very solid. He's already consolation finaled in both the 200 backstroke and the 200 breaststroke here, and the 400 freestyle. So he shows you how solid those last 3 legs are.
Grisham just 18 years old from Nitro Swimming here in Austin. Brad, who do you like to get off to a good start here?
Well, Seto obviously I think is going to have a huge lead after the butterfly leg. The solid 200 butterfly, or his 5th at Olympic Games last summer, 6th at the World Championships the year before. He just won the 100 fly last night, so you're going to see him get off to a very quick start and maybe put a big enough wedge where everybody's thinking anyway that they're going to be fighting for second. You know that's his strategy. Get out fast and get off going to where you want to try to breathe early and often here in this butterfly. Lay off the legs just enough to where you're going to save it for that middle part of the race.
And he has that lead, Daiya Seto. Do you swim this one differently than you would say just 100 or 200 fly?
Yeah, you're definitely going to swim the first part of this race completely differently than you do the 100 or even the 200 butterfly, Rich. And again, that's where strategy is so important. You want to feel like in each one of these 100s in the 400 IM, like I said before, is you want to feel like you have a negative split feeling. Not necessarily where you have to go the second 50 faster than you went the first 50, but you want to have that feeling. And you want to have a you want to ramp up your speed each one of these 100s. And well, he did that in that first 100. He was off 10, 15 meters just on the 100, on the 50 in the fly.
You can just about build a house between him and the rest of the competition right now. Daiya Seto of Japan, 400 IM champ at the last 2 Worlds, and also one of the short course Worlds last month in Windsor, Ontario.
Well, again, you look at paper and best times, and you have to judge a lot of that in a meet like this. His best time is 4:08. Grisham is next at 4:14, so that's almost 6 seconds behind Seto's best time. And then you have to go all the way to Tristan Coate, who is in lane 3 at 4:19. That's 11 seconds faster than the 3rd place all-time lifetime swimmer here in this race. That's why Seto is so good in this race. 2:01 at the 200. That's 3 seconds faster than he went in the preliminaries, and he was 3 seconds ahead of the field after the prelim. So this is going to be all about this Olympic bronze medalist.
Now into the breaststroke leg, and Seto again finished with the bronze medal in Rio. Kosuke Higino, also from Japan, won the gold and it snapped the USA streak of 5 straight Olympic gold medals in this event. Chase Kalish, who won the silver, was torn up about it afterward. He said, this is our event. He wanted to protect it, was unable to do it. It's going to be tough to close that gap heading into Tokyo.
Well, we both watched that race, and he did everything he could. He gave it everything he had. Talking about Chase Kalish, to try to hold off Higino, and for, what, 385 meters he did. Higino went by him just at the very end. It was a very strong race by Chase Kalish, and a courageous race to try to jump on that lead as much as possible, but Higino caught him at the end. But look at this. Look at the wedge between Seto. This is sort of looking like the Michael Phelps of old when he dominated this race, or a Katie Ledecky type swim. This is This is really strong. 3:13.
It's about an
And he's
8-second
8 seconds.
difference.
Yeah.
Anton Ipsen down in lane 7 is second, heading into the freestyle lane. Seto finished with the bronze in Rio. Kalish won the silver. Seto was about 3 seconds behind Kalish.
Yeah, that's why I think Kalish is still going to be a huge factor when we get to Budapest this summer. The United States has 2 solid swimmers that's represented the U.S. You mentioned Chase Kalish, Jay Lillian, who's 5th in that event last summer. 2 really good 400 IMers that will try to take the place of Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte, who may not swim again. He may swim again, but might not see him ever again in the 400 IM.
Daiya Seto cruising to the finish here in the 400 IM. Already won the 100 fly yesterday, and he dominates the field in this one. 4:13.8 for Daiya Seto, and about 5 seconds off his personal best of 4:08.
Well, he didn't lay off at the last 100. That's for sure. He's home in double O. So 4:13, that's faster than anybody else in this field has ever been. Now, it's way off of Seto's best time, 5 seconds, but he was out there by himself, and he did it in this first 100 right here, going out so fast. Clearly the best butterflyer in the field, and he proved it there, out about 3 seconds ahead of the field after about a minute into the race. And then it was all into the backstroke, coming into the 175, solid backstroker. He really doesn't have a weak stroke. Breaststroke probably his weakest, but he didn't let up in that, and he certainly didn't let up in the freestyle, winning it going away.